My name is Patricia Olayinka Aboyeji. I come from Nigeria and then I reside here in the UK. I'm the founder of St. Rapheal Support Foundation in Lagos, and then I founded another foundation here known as the Global Widows Empowerment Foundation. And reason for that is because I looked around here after finding the St. Rapheal Support Foundation in Lagos, that the widows around where I live are not well represented. So I decided to be their voice. And then ever since we've started, we've carried out so many seminars and workshops trying to, create an awareness on the plight of widowhood, and trying as much as possible to bring people who are already driven into social exclusion to integrate, so that to avoid those mental trauma that can come out of bereavement. So back in Nigeria, the St. Rapheal Support Foundation is mainly to bring support to the less privileged widows. And basically what we do is empower the widows. We empower them, we educate them on their rights against discriminations and abuse. And basically on the empowerment, what we do is we give them sort of training. We strategize our plans as to provide basic solutions to the problems that they are facing. Because one thing we realize is that there's no point giving them food or just counseling them. What we do is we try to teach them how to fish rather than giving them fish. So we take them through skills acquisition training. They learn things like how to make soaps, how to make hats, and then some of them learn snacks making. And then we have some of them that are already into petty tradings, and then they've got like space around where they sell. So some of them request for like a grinding machine, pepper grinding machine, and then we try as much as possible to provide for them. We have a lot of them that have gone into fashion training, and then after completion of their training, we provide them with them sewing machines. So far so good. We've been trying our best to see that these widows, when they come into our programs crying, when they are going out of the programs, they are laughing. And that is, I think, one of the greatest joy that I derive in being a founder of the Widows Foundation. Yeah, the establishment of the Widows Foundation came through the divine calling, because a couple of years back I had a vision that says I should help the widows. So when this vision occurred, I looked at it, I embraced it, because I love giving, and then I embraced the principle of generosity. But at the same time, I looked at the various ways at which I could reach out to the widows. But to me, I don't really find it as easy, because I was thinking in my mind, how can I get the widows? What do I do for them? So because I couldn't figure it out, to be honest, then I dropped the vision aside. And what I do was concentrating my charity on other areas. But after a couple of years again, the vision reoccurred, and it kept pondering in my mind that I should help the widows. So this time around, I felt the need to do something about it. Then I consulted a friend who actually connected me with the person that talked me through the various ways at which we could reach out to the widows. So among those ways which she explained was the setting up the foundation. So I opted for that, and then we began the process. We registered the foundation, we named it after my husband, and then it's now known as the St. Rapheal Support Foundation, and it's based in Lagos. And basically what we do is we bring support to the less privileged widows by empowering them, educating them against their rights, on their rights against discriminations and abuse, and then we provide them with skills, acquisition skills, so that they can be able to be financially stable. Because when they are financially stable, they as well can give back to the society, and they will be able to train their children. So here in the UK, I looked around where I live. I noticed that the widows there are not well represented, and I decided to lead their voice. So we started the Global Widows Empowerment Foundation here in 2018, and to God be the glory, we're doing fine, and we do seminars, we do trainings, and we do counselings as well, and we connect, because we found out that a lot of people have been driven into exclusion, and then ever since we've started, we integrate people, and we try to prevent social exclusion in people, and then with the support of our with the support of some other organizations here, we are able to stand, and we are up and running. So far so good. I believe in every other thing there are little challenges, but I wouldn't say we are really facing any challenge, because the only thing I can say is we've not been able to reach out to people for donations, support. But to God be the glory, I've got some friends that whenever we want to carry out any empowerment program, they come around and support, they give what they have, put what I have, and we are able to help the widows. They can be part of it by reaching out to us and giving us whatever they can to support our projects. We don't really give finance to people. We give money with reasons. Like there was a time we had an empowerment program in Lagos, and we have few of them that wanted to learn soap making and all that. So after the training, and what we did was give them a starting amount of money to start up their business. But what we did the last time, I think they had that program yesterday in Lagos, was that the facilitators bought all the equipment, they bought all their materials for them, and after the training, they gave them their starting kits. So we give food, but at the same time, our main objective is to give them acquisition training. That is what we skill acquisition training, so that when they learn a trade, they can rely on that for their livelihood and be financially stable. So we don't want to keep giving them fish, we want to teach them how to fish. They can locate us via the website. Rapheal Support Foundation, as I said, is in Lagos, and then the Global Widows Empowerment Foundation is here in Nottingham, UK. So our website is there. Everything is inside the book that I have written for the course. Writing a book, I would say, was the least of my thoughts. But I feel so grateful to God, because the inspiration came on the same day that I answered the call into the widows ministry, because I was connected to my mentor, and the first question she asked me on that very day was, "Have you thought of writing a book?" after narrating my story to her. And then I paused. I said, writing a book, because it came to me as a surprise, writing a book. She said, yes, you've got a powerful testimony, and then you need to write a book so that your testimony can be or can serve as a healing guide to some other people who are still passing through what you've been through. Because there are lots of people there that are waiting to hear testimonies of hope before they can be healed of their broken spirit. So she explained to me that very night, and I said, okay, well, couple of years back I had a script that I wrote, but I didn't mean to like publish it, or it wasn't even written in form of a book or nothing. It was just like notes that I was putting down, because my children were very small when their dad died. So I couldn't, they didn't know, they knew nothing. So I was trying to put some things down, because I don't really have the courage to tell them what I've been through. Each time I try to, I end up in tears. So I believed in writing it down, so that I want to present it to them one day and say, look, this is what I've been through. So I told the woman, she said, okay, now you need to develop it. Put it up and make it in form of a book, so that it can go far where your leg cannot reach. It can go far where your mouth cannot reach. So that very night, I started writing my manuscripts. And to God be the glory, within 3 months, I finished. So, and I really thank God, because I didn't know I can do it, but I thank God for giving me the grace, at least to be able to share my experience and share my testimony in the form of in the book. So that is how that's what brought about the book. But one thing I feel grateful about is that the moment I start writing the book, there was nothing like hindrance. I wasn't bored of writing it. I wasn't tired about writing it. I just kept writing it, because the story is within me. And I didn't go to any institution to learn about widowhood. It's what I've been through. It's a journey that I've walked. So I basically poured out my mind. I shared the little experience that I had as a widow, and then I got tips from other widows as well to document in the book. And then I believe this book is really going to be a tool, a healing tool, or a healing guide for those who are in my reality, and possibly those who are about stepping into the reality. So basically, there are lots of things that have been documented in the book, and then one of those is the harmful African traditional practices in widowhood, which is very common in the African countries. And to me, I think a lot of awareness is being created over this issue, because all these traditional practices are now what is known as the epidemic of widowhood, because it has brought a lot of calamities to so many widows. The death of her husband or the loss of her husband is traumatic on its own, and then compounding it with this African traditional or cultural rights, it brings more traumas to the vulnerable women. One thing is that it's so sad to see or know that the African ancestors, like to me, the way I feel it, I see it as a way of, it's either they've written our own stories their own way, and at the same time they make us believe that we have to adhere to what they have written concerning us when it comes to some of the traditional cultures. Because when a woman loses her husband in Africa, they add more to her problems by making her observe so many traditional rites. They make her stay inside the room, they exclude her from seeing people, they make some widows sleep on the floor, They make some widows marry the younger brother or the senior brother of the husband. They collect the properties of some of the women's the husband. You know, all these traditional rights and the so-called cultural rights is, you know, is so barbaric. And one thing I observe again, or that as a widow, is that there is stigma. The stigma in widowhood alone is enough to drive a woman crazy. And then after observing the widowhood right or whatever, and you are let alone to go into the society, you now begin to face another trauma, that is society expectations, because they expect certain things from you, and when they are not seeing you do that, then probably they might say you are the one that killed your husband. So because maybe they believe you should go about crying all day, they believe you should go about with morning clothes, and when they see you looking all right, then it's to them you are not doing it the right way. So a lot of things is happening in Africa, and then so many NGOs now are talking about it, and then we believe the problem is kind of fading away, but it's still it's not in some area, because as at 2019 we still have cases of women that lose their husband and still went through the same thing. So we believe that the problem is still on in some part of Africa, especially where I come from. We still have such problem. In fact, the title "Through the Eyes of a Widow," I see it as just the right title for this book, because I will say that 90% of what is in the book is what I've been through, is what has come through my eyes, like what I know. I didn't, like I've said earlier, I didn't go to any institution to learn about widowhood. I went through it. So, and widowhood, to me, I would describe it as an institution. So, because if you are in it, you've worked it, it's an institution, because you are there, you learn a lot, you see a lot, you go through a lot. Because in widowhood, you are traumatized, you are you go through oppression, you go through discrimination, you face stigma, you face a lot of things. So going through all those things, it gives you much experience that is enough to document and then share with people. So that is why I've titled the book "Through the Eyes of a Widow," because everything, or I won't say everything, most of what is in the book is what has been through my eyes. Very soon we're going to launch the book. So on the launch day, people will buy the book, and then after the launch, we're going to, you know, figure out the places where the book will be available. But at the same time, the book will be available on our website. It will be available to buy on Facebook, and then yeah, after the launch, we'll sort out a lot of places whereby people can get to buy the book. It's not strictly by invitation. The launch will be in Nottingham, and then the venue is the City Conference and Banqueting Center, Carlton Road in Nottingham. And then we invite everyone to come along, to come and launch the book with us, and then know more about the plight of widowhood, because we are trying to create much awareness so that people can really know the pain that this set of women go through. Because a lot of people see widows, they have them in their family. Some people have them as mothers, some people have them as sisters, some people have them as in-laws. But I don't think people really know that widows go through a lot. I don't think they know the pains that widows go through. But on that particular day, we're going to share a lot of information concerning the pains of widowhood and how people could possibly help them. So, and I will advise on that day, if you have any widow in your family, ask them and they will tell you their journey. Because mostly if you don't ask them, they won't tell you. Like me, I find it very difficult to tell my story. I don't share my story, even not to my children. So, and that is one of the main things that gave me that joy when I have the inspiration to write this book, so that I can be able to, you know, I can be able to, you know, voice out what has been bottled inside me for quite a long time. I would describe myself as somebody who try to take up challenges. I try to do new things. I'm very creative, at the same time very lucrative. At the same time, I'm an entrepreneur, and I don't easily get discouraged. I try as much as possible to feel I can do everything. I feel I can do everything, and then especially when it comes to issue of, you know, making money to, you know, to be financially stable. I tried a lot, especially when my children were still young. I struggled here and there, doing different forms of businesses, at least to see that they are well educated, and to God be the glory. He was by my side, and everything was all right. Yeah, what I would like to advise to the young widows, or those ones who are still along the journey, or those who are stepping into the reality, is that sometimes when it happens, we feel that there wouldn't be light at the end of the tunnel. But I will advise that there is always a light at the end of every tunnel, because when it happens like that, it's like the day turning into night. Because you look at yourself, you don't know where to start from. You don't even know, because like me, when it happened to me, I was 29 years old when I lost my husband. As a matured young lady, I was vibrant when I was young, so I got married early at the age of 21. So I had 8 years of marriage, I think. Then I lost my husband at 29. So imagine somebody losing her husband at the age of 29 with 4 children. I had the last one was 3 months. My last baby was 3 months when their dad died. So it was like, that was to me then, I couldn't comprehend what can happen. I couldn't just figure out anything. So I thought I lost hope to everything. I thought it was the end of the world. But gradually, I started picking up my pieces, because I sat down one day and I asked myself a simple question: am I up to the task? And then the answer that came forth was yes, otherwise I die in it. It's either I survive it or I die in it. So I pick up my pieces and I began my journey. So, and to God be the glory, everything seems all right later. So my simple advice is that it might seem like there's no hope, but there is always a light at the end of every tunnel. So no one should lose hope. It's a sad occurrence when it happens, but at the end of the day, there will be joy after the sadness.